Now, Donald Trump's not a violent man, and he would never do anything, I don't believe, to hurt anybody physically, but he's definitely doing payback. And that is the overarch of what I'm going to tell you about tonight. He's going to pay back right now Russian collusion and Epstein. And the Epstein thing just started. And nobody's picked up on it as far as I could see, but that's why you are here watching and listening to me. So let's start with collusion. That's the talking points memo this evening. As you probably have heard, Attorney General Pam Bondi says she will present evidence on the Russian collusion fraud conspiracy to a federal grand jury. This coming off a report by National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard saying that CIA Director John Brennan, FBI Director James Comey, Hillary Clinton, and others conjured up a conspiracy to derail Donald Trump's presidential campaign, and then after he was elected, to harm him in office. That is the case. Okay? So Bondi and Gabbard, and apparently President Trump, who calls all the shots, believe they have enough evidence to prove it. Okay. So now it goes in a federal grand jury. Now, grand jury is just like you and me, regular folks. There's more of them than in a sitting trial. And they have to select the venue, and that's going to be a problem for the Trump administration, because all of this alleged conspiracy fraud took place in and around Washington, D.C. and New York City. Remember, Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign headquarters was in Brooklyn. It's going to be tough to get it out of there. I mean, you might be able to get it into Virginia because that's where the CIA is, Langley. But boy, you're not going to be able to get it to Florida, Texas, or a red state. So Bondi's going to have to go into very, very liberal precincts and present her case in front of a federal grand jury. Now, they are more disciplined than local juries, state juries, no question. But that is a hurdle. Okay, now in the spotlight is, as I mentioned, former CIA Director Brennan. It looks like there is strong evidence against him. Former FBI Director James Comey, that hinges on whether Comey knew or was told that the information gleaned about Putin and Russia trying to interfere in the election was phony, because Comey presented the evidence to federal judges to get a FISA wiretap on the Trump campaign. Now, Comey, of course, is going to say, no, I didn't know. Brennan's going to say, I didn't know. But in Brennan's case, there is a lying to the FBI charge coming. And they have, from what I understand, proof of that. But everybody's entitled to due process. Clapper is the director of national intelligence. That's murky on Clapper. I don't know yet. And then there's the big kahuna, to use a surfing expression, Hillary Clinton, whose campaign started all this by hiring people to gin up a phony scenario that Putin and Russia were trying to help Donald Trump become president. Now, Hillary Clinton, that's a interesting study there, because I obviously has the biggest name. And she's going to say, I didn't know anything about it. These were all done by campaign workers, and I had nothing to do with it. So the Justice Department, the Trump Justice Department, has to produce evidence to override the denial. We all understand this is no slam dunk case here. It's a complicated case. Okay? Now, Donald Trump wants to punish all of those people. There's no question that he does. All of them. He punishes by an indictment. So even if they are acquitted, you know, Brennan and Comey and Hillary and Clapper, whoever else gets indicted, has to pay millions of dollars to attorneys to defend them. And there's no, maybe Hillary's got money left over from her presidential campaign, because you can use that. She could use it legally, but the others don't. They're going to have to pony up millions of dollars in legal fees. And that's a revenge play. Now, President Obama's out of the equation. We explained this many times. Just go over it real quickly. There was a movement to indict President Trump for inciting the January 6th riot in D.C. at the Capitol building. Supreme Court threw that out, said, look, Donald Trump was president at the time. He had the right to do anything he wanted to do as far as policy is concerned. And that was it. And Obama can fall back absolutely on that. So if it's proven that Obama saw evidence that there was fraud in this Russian collusion thing, and then ordered another assessment, which is what is going around now, Obama said, look, it's part of my job. I wanted to triple check it. And nobody believes, nobody serious person believes that President Obama is going to be indicted here unless whistleblowers emerge. And that's what Bondi is counting on. The Attorney General is counting on people coming out to testify against Hillary, Brennan, Comey, Clapper, and perhaps Obama. That changes the equation. Okay? If these people rise up and say, oh, I told this person, oh, this person did this, and can prove it, the case changes. Okay? So do you have it? Does everybody have it? That's where we are on payback for Russian collusion. All right. Now, just today. No, let me run a soundbite. And then I'll get to Epstein in today. So last night I was on News Nation. I'm on there every Monday at 9 and then on Wednesday, 8:15. So Leland Vittert and I talked about this Russian collusion. Go.
Is this grand jury is trying to go back and relitigate this? Is potentially putting Obama-era people in jail a good thing for the country?
Yeah. If these people tried to derail an election, tried to hurt a sitting president by bogus, phony, false conspiracies, because that's what
Isn't
it was.
that called politics?
Using them to get... Okay, Leland, is it called politics? Get a phony FISA warrant to spy on you and your family? Did you call that politics? I don't think so. That's a crime. Okay. I'm right. You just don't let this go. But there is a personal vendetta on the part of Donald Trump, believe me. Okay? Not just about them, but in New York City and a whole bunch of other places. All right, now let's get to Epstein. So this is really interesting. The left, the Democratic Party, have been torturing Donald Trump about his alleged association with Epstein, the most heinous man probably we've seen in years. All right, he's dead. He committed suicide. I'm sure he's having a fun time now down below. So Jeffrey Epstein knew Donald Trump. Okay. All of those people knew each other in New York City, and that's that. But it's not a crime to know Jeffrey Epstein. But the Democratic Party and the Trump haters are insinuating heavily that Trump was involved in some kind of criminality with Epstein. You all know that. That's what this is all about. So enter Congressman James Comer, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, who is very loyal to Donald Trump. Okay? And he says, you know what? We're gonna subpoena the following people to talk about Epstein in front of our committee. Ready? Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Robert Mueller, the special counsel, James Comey, Bill Barr, Attorney General under Trump, first term. Okay? Loretta Lynch, former Attorney General under Obama. Eric Holder, Obama's former Attorney General. Merrick Garland, Biden's former Attorney General. On and on and on and on. So Comer's saying, you want to play? We'll play. You guys got to come in under oath and do a deposition with my investigators about Epstein. What you knew, what happened, and all that. This is brilliant. It's brilliant. They turns it right around. You want to torture Trump for a month? Okay. Now we're going to torture you. And believe me, if anybody lies, whoa, that goes right to the Justice Department. Remember, Congress can't indict anybody. It has to go through the circles. And if anybody takes the fifth, can you imagine? Can you imagine? On an Epstein deposition? When I saw this, I went, whoa. And I don't usually do that much. I usually can predict. I didn't predict this. I did not. Now, there's payback going on a lesser extent, and we do give everyone the presumption of innocence here on the No Spin News. You know that. Due process. We don't do what most of the others do, convict people on television, in the media. We do not do that. That is wrong, morally wrong to do. Other paybacks, Mar-a-Lago, Jack Smith, he's being investigated. Georgia voting fraud, a whole bunch of people down there being investigated. E. Jean Carroll, okay, the woman who said Trump jumped her in Bloomingdale's, all right? Bragg, believe me, is under investigation. The Attorney General, the district attorney in Manhattan, who brought the business charges, and then the federal election subversion case, okay? So there's a lot of stuff swirling around. Trump's not going to leave office. He's got 3.5 more years. He's like Michael Corleone. He's going to get them all, or try to.